Hello and welcome back to my channel. So I have officially become one of those people. One of those people who is weirdly obsessed with their air fryer. And I know I'm a late adapter, and that's because for years I just didn't want to deal with another appliance. I didn't want to take enough counter space. I kind of think they're big and ugly. I just didn't want to deal with it. But now that I finally was convinced, it is just incredible and it's so worth the hype. And my goal today is, even if you already have an air fryer, to show you new and surprising ways you can use it that maybe you didn't know. And if you're new and a skeptic like I was, then maybe it will pique your interest. If you don't know, an air fryer is essentially just a mini convection oven, which means that there's a fan that's circulating the hot air around the food that gives it more even cooking. But most importantly, it helps cook your food so much faster, and you can get that fried food effect without having to use crazy amounts of oil. And in my opinion, most foods taste better coming from this just because of the texture. I'm a big texture person and I like that outer crisp. Before getting to the recipes, I just want to share what air fryer I have. I honestly feel like any air fryer is going to work, but just in case you're wondering, this is the first one that I got. It is the Go Wise USA, had great reviews, and this one is actually great. I have no problems with it, except it's a tiny bit smaller. And what you'll learn with the air fryer is it's all about surface area. So I think this one is perfect if you're cooking for between 1 to 3 people, but if you're cooking for a family of 4 or more, I would go for this guy. This one is the cossori. It's bigger. This is designed for a family. The one accessory that I just found out about that is a game changer for the air fryer is this guy right here. It is a specially designed air fryer silicone basket that sits in the interior basket of the air fryer, making it 5,000 times easier to clean, because that is the big negative of the air fryer. If you don't put a liner of some sort, then you have to clean the outer and inner basket because there are holes in it. And on the interior, there are ridges that still elevates your food so the air can circulate fully around it. So highly recommend this guy. So let's get started with the recipes. These are all surprising things that you may not even know you could make in your air fryer. The first being hard-boiled eggs. Yeah, I know, crazy. When I first heard this, I was like, no, don't you need water? You have to boil it. Hard-boiled eggs are fussy to make, which is why I hate making them. So turns out you can just make them in the air fryer. This is now my best favorite method to make them. You just need a 300-degree preheated air fryer. Put your eggs inside. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to add water. You don't have to poke holes in the egg. Just put your eggs in the air fryer at 300 for 12 minutes. Immediately once they're done, put them into an ice bath with ice and water to stop the cooking process, and then I peel them under running water. I find that to be the easiest way. The next surprising thing you can make in your air fryer is oatmeal. And what I love about air fryer oatmeal is you don't have to mess with it. Normally with oatmeal, you're constantly having to stir it and keep an eye on it. It can burn easily. With your air fryer, you just set it and forget it, and then it's done when you're ready for it. So with this recipe, you want to preheat to 300. I should just say here, all air fryer recipes, you do really need to preheat because the timing is pretty exact. And so if you don't preheat, it could affect the timing and it might not turn out perfectly. Then I put in half a cup of oatmeal, not steel cut oats. So just rolled oats in your air fryer. And I do use the silicone basket. And then I put in 1.5 cups of water and half cup of milk. You want to make sure that the oatmeal is fully covered in liquid. And I put it in my air fryer at 300 for 10 minutes. And I find that's the perfect amount of doneness, but not overcooked. And then from here, I usually will add a little more milk, some cinnamon. I like putting strawberries or apple on top, give it a little texture. Next up are cookies. And these are my favorite cookies because they have that crisp exterior and they're soft and gooey in the middle, and those are my favorite types. If you like a crispier type of cookie, you probably would not love them in the air fryer. So I have tried both homemade chocolate chip cookie recipes and the store-bought, and I prefer the store-bought for whatever reason. I mean, not only is it easier, but they've turned out better for me. So I just got this pre-made cookie dough and I put them in a preheated 300-degree air fryer for 7 to 8 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. And after you remove them from the air fryer, let them fully cool for 5 to 10 minutes. And what you'll see here is the texture is just perfect. They're nice and soft on the inside. And I actually even made another batch in the regular oven, and you can see the difference. Next up is frozen ravioli. I know, that one also sounds crazy. All of these to me like blew my mind. I had no idea. But this is actually like a fried ravioli is what you get. They're like little bite-sized raviolis with a crust on the outside, and then you dip it in the marinara. So it makes a perfect appetizer. My kids absolutely love these. Just take it right out of the freezer, and you want to make a crust. So I have one bowl with some beaten eggs, and then the other bowl I have a mixture of panko, breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, and my favorite seasonings, Italian seasoning, salt, pepper. So you want to dip it in the egg and then into your crust mixture, get it nice and thoroughly coated, and then put them in a preheated 400-degree air fryer for 7 minutes. And remember, lay them out so they're not crowded, they're not stacked up on top of each other, and they're going to turn out a lot better. I do want to note these are the smaller 1-inch raviolis, so if yours are larger, then go for a longer cook time, but I love these bite-sized ones. Number 5 are air fryer donuts, and this is Ryan's favorite. Like, he goes nuts for these. And I should say they're kind of like a hybrid between a biscuit and a donut, because sometimes I even find donuts are way too sweet. I can't even stomach them. So these are just slightly less sweet, so tasty and crazy easy to make, because all you have to do is get your canned biscuit dough pre-made and then cut out the little hole in the center. I just did this using a knife. You can get a little cookie cutter, and you want to cook these in a preheated 350-degree air fryer for 5 minutes. At the 3-minute mark, you want to flip them. And then once you're done, you want to brush on some melted butter and then put your toppings. I like a little cinnamon sugar, a little brown sugar. You could put sprinkles. It's not overly sweet, but has just enough that it hits the spot and gives that donut type effect. And you can also make the donut holes separately. Just put them in at 350 degrees for 3 minutes. Next up is corn on the cob. And this is hands down my favorite way to make corn on the cob now, because I just love how it tastes. Like, it's so nice and juicy on the inside. So you just want to take your corn and prep it. I just brush it with some oil and put it in a preheated 370-degree air fryer for 12 minutes. So just check it at 10 minutes. And then after they're done, I add even more butter, even more seasoning. I love to season this up. Next up are apple chips. This is another favorite of the kids because they love to eat the apple chips, but they can be pricey if you're buying them from the store. So with this, you just have to get your apples. We did it with Gala apple, but any type you like will work. I did use a mandolin to get them into nice, thin, uniform slices. Even if you don't have a mandolin, just try to get them as uniform as possible. You can core the apple or not, that is totally up to you, and you don't need to remove the skin. Then you want to put them in a 390-degree preheated air fryer for 10 to 12 minutes. Once you put them in, I do spray them with a light coat of oil, and then at the 7-minute mark, flip them and make sure, again, they have their space, they're not overcrowded, and they will turn out a lot better. If you like them more crispy, you can keep them going for 13 to 14 minutes, or if you like that softer texture to them, which we tend to like, I'll just pull them out at 12. And once they're done, you can add a little cinnamon sugar topping to it if you want, and they are delicious. Next is garlic bread, so just get your baguette, cut it in half. Then I put quite a bit of butter on there. You can add your garlic powder or fresh pressed garlic. I like it with fresh garlic, or a mix of both is even better. And then put it in a 350-degree preheated air fryer for 5 minutes, and you have perfect crispy garlic bread. Now these last two, 9 and 10, I'm kind of cheating because they're not exactly surprising, but they are, in my opinion, the two best things you can make in your air fryer. So I did want to include them here, and that is salmon and Brittany's magical broccoli. Once you make salmon in an air fryer, you will never go back because it gives that effect of having a perfectly seared piece of salmon. You can really season these however you like. You can put some Dijon mustard, you could put teriyaki, and then I put it in the air fryer that's been preheated at 400 degrees for 8 minutes. And I say 8 minutes with a little hesitation because this is one that you really do have to check because they do overcook fairly easily. So I would say start at 6 minutes and then check on it every 1 to 2 minutes. Try your salmon in the air fryer. Thank me later. It is the best. And then the last recipe I'm going to share today is Brittany's famous broccoli, and I say this because I once made this at a work event like 10 years ago, and 2 years after making it, somebody from the party contacted me and wanted the recipe because it was still on their mind. I'm sorry. You get your fresh broccoli, cut them into bite-sized pieces, thoroughly wash and dry them, and then get them in a bowl. And I add 1 part extra virgin olive oil and 1 part agave. Then you add your seasonings, salt, pepper, a little garlic powder, and the magic key secret ingredient is cumin. A lot of cumin, like you wanna completely saturate, cover these in cumin. I know, sounds weird, just try it and let me know. I don't know if it's for everyone, but it's my favorite way to eat broccoli. And then I just put them at a 400 preheated air fryer for about 6 minutes, but you do want to let them go long enough where they're just crispy but not burned. So keep an eye, check on them at 6 minutes. And I just still can't get over the fact that it takes half the time for all of these recipes. Any of these recipes in a regular oven, double it. My time is precious. This is very exciting. In addition to all of that, most nights I make my HelloFresh meals, and now I make them in the air fryer, and it just cuts down time that much more, and I just adapt it because the golden rule with the air fryer is you go 25 degrees lower than the recipe states for a regular oven and half the time, and then just check on it. Also, my favorite way to reheat food, like to reheat pizza or reheat French fries and bring them back to life. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here because if you can't tell, I definitely have a lot more content. So if you like this video, I will do another air fryer video in the future. I would be thrilled to do that. So please just let me know by giving this a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments, what is your favorite thing to make in your air fryer so I can test those out and try them for a future video. Thank you as always so much for watching, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye.